Keep throwing stuff at the wall, eventually it's going to stick. Something's going to stick. That's basically what I'm trying to do in my life. I just keep throwing things at the wall. Hopefully something will stick. And I mean, I've created different streams of income, and I mean, I've acquired multiple properties at a young age. And the way I did that was by widening the gap, being consistent, making sure I'm accountable with my time. I've taken
this person because they're doing what it takes to make it happen.
Yeah.
Compared to other people.
And you learn from your failures.
Exactly. So, in your personal life, your journey, how would you say that you've widened that gap?
I would say it starts with execution. Execution would probably be the first thing. Whenever I was younger, I used to read a lot of books, and that doesn't do nothing. I know a lot of people who read a lot of self-development, business, and other type of books. But when it comes down to it, they just read these books and that's it. So I know a lot of people who are like-minded, who if I talk to them or if somebody talks to me, like, damn, this person really has their stuff together. When in reality, they don't. They just portray themselves as that. So what I do differently is like when I'm reading books, I'm not there just trying to feel good about myself and feel like I'm accomplishing something. I want to get ideas from these books and actually implement them, extract the ideas I like and implement them into my life and actually utilize them. And I mean, these ideas that are in these books are by multi-millionaires, so obviously they're beneficial. But my main thing is to execute on these ideas that they have. If they say a certain way to manage your money, I want to make sure I execute it. If they say certain things I should be investing in, I want to make sure I do it. Certain habits to acquire, I want to make sure I do it. If they want to say I should plan my day, I'm going to make sure I do it. I'm not just going to read these books and then you're just like going to a seminar. You go to a seminar, you listen to things, you feel good about yourself, and then that's it. You feel like you did something, but in reality, if you do nothing with the information, then there's no point of doing it in the first place. Because in reality, you're just as bad as somebody who's playing video games or somebody who's doing something that's not productive with their time. So you might as well just waste it if you're not going to do nothing with what you learn. So if you have all the tools to succeed, just make sure you put them to use. So that's going to be the main thing, is execution. On top of that, I would say is consistency. So let's say, for example, either working out. I mean, if you don't work out, if you're in shape already and you stop working out now, it won't show for a couple months, but eventually it's going to show because the consistency will come. It's showing that you're being inconsistent. It'll show eventually. But if you only work out 3 times a week for 4 or 5 years, obviously it's going to show in your body when people look at you. The consistency will show. If you're starting a YouTube channel and you put out 10 videos in 1 week, and then you stop putting out videos for a whole year, and then you put out another video next year, then the consistency will show in your audience and who's listening to you. If you're putting out every single week, then eventually you're going to get some type of crowd. Somebody's going to be listening to you. Even if it's only one person, somebody will eventually listen if you just keep putting stuff out there. Keep throwing stuff at the wall, eventually it's going to stick. Something's going to stick. That's basically what I'm trying to do in my life. I just keep throwing things at the wall, hopefully something will stick. And I mean, I've created different streams of income, and I mean, I've acquired multiple properties at a young age. And the way I did that was by widening the gap, being consistent, making sure I'm accountable with my time. I take full accountability. And myself, I don't try to blame other people for my shortcomings. Even if I'm not responsible for it, I still put the blame on myself. Right. Even if I had no control over it, you still want to take the blame for yourself, because then you're not putting the blame on other people. And that's a good habit to have, is to take full accountability and ownership in your downfalls, and even whenever it's things that you can't control.
You know, that's really big what you just talked about. Taking personal ownership. That's actually a value in the Army. Being able to take that personal ownership of your life and the decisions that you make. For me, I always say to people, I don't regret nothing in my life. It's not that I feel like I'm perfect, not at all. But the things that made those mistakes, or the things that I was successful in, either one, still made me the person that I am today. And I love that person. I know that person, and I feel that the only way to grow is to either make a mistake or be successful. But even when I make a mistake, I don't think of it as a loss. I think of it as a learning opportunity. Yeah. And I have to sit back and look at myself and say, okay, how could I have handled that differently if it didn't go my way?
You have to analyze.
Right. And sometimes, that is something that a lot of people find it very hard to do with each other. It's very hard to sit down, look at yourself in the mirror, and say, "Man, I have this issue," and it's not. It may not even be something as hardcore as a drug issue or alcohol abuse or anything like that.
Yeah.
You may just be a chronic procrastinator, and if you're a chronic procrastinator, are you really truly putting the steps forward to making yourself the best version of yourself, or
Yeah.
are you content in mediocrity? Because
Yeah.
to be somebody who's a compulsive, chronic procrastinator is somebody who is always going to be, at last, or in the middle of the pack, or those type of things. So you're not widening the gap.
Yeah,
when
and
you're
that's
doing
most
like that.
people.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
another thing too. Most people are normal. Most people are mediocre. I'm not saying this talking down on people. I'm just saying most people, they're not going to say they're happy. They're not happy or they're not satisfied with their normal life, but they settle for it because they don't want to have to do the things to go out and have extraordinary life or have a non-conformist lifestyle. Basically, most people are drifters. I mean, that's another way Napoleon Hill there's a lot of people explain it like that. A lot of people are drifters. So the non-drifters are the ones who go against the resistance, against the tide, and they create something different. And those people are the ones who have to go through the most trial and error. They have to learn from their losses. And those type of people can't just have normal habits and expect to achieve great results. So it's like another thing, don't be a drifter and don't just drift through life and just let life happen. If you don't plan your day, your life, somebody else don't plan your day. If you don't plan your life, somebody else will plan your life. If you don't plan out what you want to do with yourself, eventually you're going to work for a company where that person who owns the company is rich and he's decided what you're going to do with your life. You might be, I have benefits, I have that, I have this, but in reality you're just in modern day slavery and you don't know it. And it don't matter how much money you make, what you're doing. You can make $100,000 a year. And if your bills are $90,000 a year, you're still stuck to that job. Now you have something that's keeping you stuck there. And the one thing that you can establish is just get all the habits in place. And another thing, the statistic I think I want to say is about 80%, or it's about over 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.